God bless it. Ugh, you know, I don't want to come here and keep having to do these videos bringing a modicum of sanity and reason and focus back to Star Wars. But it seems that I have because Star Wars Theory, the person who was supposed to be the arbiter and the champion for Star Wars and fandom, has lost his mind. And he's gone on this ridiculous defense of this Ahsoka show to a level that I didn't think was possible. This is cope, delusion, and madness all wrapped up into one, and I can't explain it. I cannot, for the life of me, explain it. So, Star Wars Theory was defending Sabine getting impaled by a lightsaber, and it was different from Qui-Gon Jinn, even though it wasn't. Oh, because Qui-Gon, it took more time. It didn't. I mean, the level of cope in this from a guy that knows better is infuriating. But now we're on a whole other level here. People are pointing out that it is absolutely retarded to have Sabine Wren be force sensitive and trained as a Jedi. It is stupid, it makes no sense, but now Star Wars Theory is posting on social media asking why y'all bugging. So first of all, Theory, you have taken L after L on this series. You rated it a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 is like Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. 9 out of 10 is reserved for the upper echelon of content. Like, it's damn near perfect. This show barely makes a 3 out of 10. So let's get that out of the way. Second of all, you're now trying to say that George Lucas said that any person is force sensitive and can be a Jedi. No. The whole point of being imbued with the Force, every person has a spark of the Force, has a spark of that life in them. This is not unique to Star Wars. If you've ever read Wizard's First Rule, which is a book from the Sword of Truth series, the whole premise is that magic, the reason why it works is that wizards are people who are able to utilize the life force in the world, and they're able to touch into nature. And you have additive and subtractive magic, the light and the dark. The reason why it's applicable to this is every person has that spark of life, has that ability to touch that light and dark, but they are not able to train it to become a Jedi. They're not able to train it to become a wizard. The whole point of midichlorians, the whole point of Jedi, the whole point of this is that not everyone can do it. What you've essentially done here is you have taken a character that people like, and you have, for no reason, and breaking all sorts of canon and established lore and fan accepted norms, you have decided to introduce this theory about midichlorians and the Force and try to force it in where it has never been applicable before. There has never been an opportunity in the Star Wars universe to explore this. And you ham-fist it in a series that is already hanging by a thread, is already perceived by most people as being garbage, the ones that actually watched it. And you have this guy, again, getting upset, irritated. Why you all bugging? Well, the reason I'm bugging is because it doesn't make any sense. And you trying to justify it just is more embarrassment on top of the L's that you've already taken. And I don't delight in doing this. I don't want to make videos clowning on Star Wars Theory. I don't. I have no problem with the guy. But why is it that every time he says something stupid or Disney comes out with some cockamamie bullshit, this guy's out there defending it, saying, why are you mad? Why are you complaining? Because it doesn't make sense. Now, granted, Sometimes the Star Wars fandom goes too obsessive compulsive on one small little detail. And it doesn't make sense. And you look at it and you go, well, okay, maybe that's a little bit ridiculous. This is not. This is people within the Star Wars fandom looking at this saying, Sabine Wren should never be Force sensitive. Never. It makes no sense. It is not in line with the character to train as a Jedi. This is ham-fisted Disney bullshit. Now, I don't know what Star Wars Theory's game is here. I don't know if he has just given up and he's basically like, okay, well, you know what? They're lightsabers and force powers, and I don't care about lore. I don't care about continuity. I don't care about acting. I don't care about the terrible sets. I don't care about the terrible costumes. I don't care about all of the valid criticisms that people are bringing up. It's good enough. And I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to cling on to that. I will defend that. I'm not going to let anyone bring anything remotely coherent to the criticism game because I'm so devoted into protecting this thing. I don't know if that's what it is. It would sort of make sense considering his earlier statements that if Ahsoka bombed, and it has bombed, that he was going to give up on Disney content. He was going to stick to the original trilogy and stick to the games. He said that in a live stream, and I actually played a clip of it in a previous video. But what I want to reiterate here is how absolutely patently absurd it is. The suggestion that anyone could be a Jedi. If that were the case, the Jedi wouldn't have to recruit kids from a young age. They could just find anyone. They could just find anyone who has, some strong sense of justice and train them to be a Jedi. Han Solo could have trained to be a Jedi. Why didn't Luke train Han Solo to be a Jedi? Well, because that wasn't the way that the universe worked. And so I'm going to play the clip here that Theory plays of George Lucas. And we're going to really examine how patently absurd what Theory is trying to get across here. What he's trying to run by you in defense of this show. Now, what I will say is that it is entirely possible that as this show goes on, it gets better. It picks up. There are moments and scenes that just really hit your heart, and it's amazing. I'm not ruling it out. But the track record for Disney is that they come out strong at first, and then they get worse as time goes on. That's their MO, that's their strategy. Well, I don't know if it's a strategy, but it's what they do. So
George had said that everyone in the Star Wars galaxy is Force sensitive.
Everyone has the Force in them. Everyone. And there's two sides to the Force. The dark side, which is selfishness, and the light side, which is compassion.
George said.
Do you see that? What George Lucas is saying there is something that is obvious, that everyone has that ability to choose the light or the dark. They have that spark of the Force in them because the Force is basically life. However, people don't have the midichlorians required to use the Force. People don't have the ability to just use the Force and become a Jedi, become one of the most strongest beings in the galaxy. Han Solo could not become as strong as Darth Vader. These things are pretty crystal clear. And there was nothing wrong with Sabine just being a very competent Mandalorian. But no, it's Disney. And you have a female character, so why not? Why not give her Force powers? Why not make her a Jedi? Hell, make them all Jedi. There is just a level of incompetence, stupidity, and ego at Lucasfilm, at Disney, from all of them. There is no consistency, coherence. There is nothing. It is just more of the same. Bland sets, bland costumes, terrible acting, terrible writing, no fidelity. And now you've got Star Wars Theory, of all people, going out there and saying, yeah, you know what George said? George said everyone has the Force in them, which he did. But he didn't say everyone could be a Jedi or everyone could be a Sith. The idea that everyone has a spark of the Force in them, a spark of life, is an understandable concept that's been used in other forms of literature, and it makes sense. However, it doesn't mean that they can be trained like it's karate, where they can use the Force and throw people across the room or use a lightsaber proficiently. That's not the way that it works. That's not how the Force works. I mean, this really genuinely blows my mind. If everyone could be taught how to use the Force, if it were in everyone, why didn't Palpatine train stormtroopers to be that much better? Train them to be, I'm not talking about being Sith, but train them to be better shots. Train them to use the Force to do their job a little bit better. Why wouldn't Palpatine make a more elite Force across the board? So you have a bunch of Force-sensitive super soldiers that are across the entire Empire. I mean, because you can't do it. You can't. You can't train people who are not Force sensitive to use the Force. And Force sensitive means that they have the ability to use midichlorians to affect the world around them. They're wizards. And not everyone can be a wizard. And if you think that if you are making this argument, oh my God. It's like Syndrome from The Incredibles. If everyone's super, then nobody is. And this is a major problem. And the fact that he's defending this blows my mind. It irritates me a little bit. But the fact is that my passion for Star Wars has waned over the years because of Disney. Because of people like Star Wars Theory making asinine, ridiculous comments like this. And I'm here to point out to people who are still sane, who still love Star Wars, you're not alone. You're not alone to watch the ridiculous asinine statement from this guy and say, this is retarded, this is stupid. To defend this shocking writing and this terrible twist that is lore-breaking. Because George Lucas made a comment about philosophy and about the essence of having light and dark in every human being as a justification for the shocking, shitty, terrible writing and terrible developments in this show. It is asinine. And it is indefensible. And I'm here to call it out. I'm here to make fun of it, mock it, and that's it. And really, that's it. I'm not here to do any more than that. I see something that's wrong. I want to call it out. I want to talk about it. This is not, despite what you may think, this is not an attack on Star Wars Theory. This is just me expressing the fact that what he's saying is delusion, it's cope, and it's stupid. It makes no sense. Taking an out-of-context clip from George Lucas to try to apply it to the shockingly terrible, shitty writing from the Ahsoka series is baffling. It is absolutely baffling. Well, there's not much more to say. You know, I'm going to watch this series. And I'm going to keep an open mind. But if I see more of this shit, this ridiculous defense that makes no sense, I'm going to do more videos. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do what I want to do on this. And I don't mind if people like the Ahsoka series. If you like it, if you think it's really good, fine. Star Wars Theory is out there rating these episodes at 9 out of 10s. 9 out of 10s. Nearly perfect. I mean, oh, 9 out of 10. Holy shit. If this is 9 out of 10, we have fallen so far. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. No, the show isn't a 9 out of 10. It's not anywhere close. The first 2 episodes, I would rate it about a 3 out of 10. I have yet to watch the entirety of episode 3 because, you want to know the truth? I started watching episode 3. I got bored. I put it on pause. I didn't go back. I have to actually take time and watch the entirety from start to finish episode 3. And who knows, maybe the ending part is what redeems it and saves it and makes it amazing, but I just don't see it. But I could be wrong. But speaking about being wrong, Star Wars Theory is absolutely being wrong. Not everyone could be a Jedi. Not everyone, Boba Fett cannot be Force sensitive and be a Jedi. He can't wield the lightsaber. Well, I mean, he could use a lightsaber. But using a lightsaber is not the same thing as wielding a lightsaber. Han Solo uses a lightsaber. He cuts open a tauntaun. But to wield a lightsaber, you have to have the Force for a variety of reasons. Now, Disney kind of destroyed this with Finn. But Finn, I mean, he was using it kind of like a sword. But I miss the old days where lightsabers were these weapons of the Jedi, and only they could really use them. For the most part, like you could maybe turn it on and use it to cut open a tauntaun, but it's like you weren't going to use a lightsaber to fight, because you couldn't. I don't know. I like the old style of it was so powerful of a weapon, that sort of thing. But that's long gone. Lightsabers have lost pretty much all of their respect with Disney. I mean, they can't kill you by impalement anymore. They bounce off you when they hit you. They're basically just giant light bats. Anyway, before I get on another tangent, that's where I'm going to end things, ladies and gentlemen. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, if people keep saying stupid things, I'll do more videos. That'll do it. Have a nice day.